Dark Phoenix movie is directed by Simon Kinberg. It stars James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Nicholas Hoult, Jessica Chastain, Sophie Turner, Ty Sheridan. I can go on. Big cast, and it follows the story. It is the newest X-Men story. It follows the story of Jean Grey, played by Sophie Turner, and it is the story of the Dark Phoenix. And that story we have seen before in X-Men: The Last Stand, a movie that is mixed response to say the least. I don't mind it, but this is the same mixed response. So Dark Phoenix, here we go, because this is a review. I don't know what's happening lately. I've been fucking the critics hard, and you know what? I didn't mind this movie. This movie has been shat on, shitted on, pooped on, whatever you want to say. It's been very harshly dubbed, and I do not think it is that bad. Now, it's not great. Of course, it is not great, because that's just, you know, people wouldn't be saying it's this bad if I thought it was such a great movie, because obviously I'd be able to see something. Now, let's actually start with the review, because there is positives. There's things I liked about this movie. There's things that I didn't like about this movie, but there is some things to kind of riff on from the get-go. Now, the first thing is the cast. James McAvoy kills it. We know that Professor X, he has been crushing that role since First Class. He is very, very good in this. Again, Michael Fassbender, again, crushing that role of Magneto. Very, very good in that role. Sophie Turner, I really liked her in this role. I think she stepped up a notch from the last X-Men movie. She was really good. We've seen it in Game of Thrones. She's a very talented young actress, and she crushed it. The whole cast in general, I liked a lot more than X-Men Apocalypse, because if we've got to go into X-Men Apocalypse for a second, didn't really enjoy the young cast as much. Whereas this one, I went, okay, there's things I really like about them. Storm, a lot better than Apocalypse. Cyclops, a lot better than Apocalypse. Jean Grey, a lot better than Apocalypse. Nightcrawler, I think he's basically on the same level. I liked a little bit of... they gave him a bit more, not necessarily screen time, but a different angle to his character that you know I'm talking about when you watch this film. And then again, the same cast as well of the Nicholas Hoult, great again. Jennifer Lawrence, great again. Evan Peters, underused, which is one of my negatives. I'll get into that later, but he's good when, you know, he's a scene stealer when you give him the opportunity to be. Now, that is the main positive for me, is that the cast worked for me. This movie was very well acted. Although the dialogue doesn't allow it at times, and there's spots that you're like, oh, I don't know if anyone can make that good, but I liked it because I think they all did their role a lot better. I think, again, the main ones are still killing it, have been since First Class, and the new ones have stepped it up, which I liked. And the action was cool. I did like the action. I think there were some dope action sequences. I know they had to change the ending because apparently another superhero film had a similar ending, so they reshot the entire ending. That's why it got delayed. And I liked the third act. It's kind of a train sequence. I did enjoy that. I don't know how anyone else feels about it, but I enjoyed it. And then the first act, I really liked them kind of doing the classic X-Men, oh shit, happening on the news. X-Men, let's get ready. And that's where they start the movie, is there's someone on a mission, and that kind of takes you into Dark Phoenix, you know, storyline. But I liked just seeing that cool, we're a team, bitch, everyone goes in, awesome. I really liked that aspect, and the cast and the action worked for me, and that's why it kind of held me to this movie, because I was never watching this movie going, fuck, this is bad, or I was never watching this movie going, fuck, this is amazing, but I was going, okay, I'm not really displeased. It was more the stuff when I thought about it later that I went, yeah, this is why people don't like this movie. I didn't sit there thinking this, but a lot of the stuff, as soon as I watched the thing, I go, okay, started talking to my friends, yep, that may, you know, like those things kind of start railing you off. And now the things that are the negatives of the movie, I'll get into now. And these are the things that people are hammering down on that I'm not going to hammer down on. The first thing is nothing happens in this film. It really just feels like a compilation of scenes that kind of get you to a point that is the end of the movie. It feels really short. It feels like not a lot happens. And that was kind of a feeling that I felt because I don't know what there was a scene that happened in the movie that it felt like this could be a turning point of the movie, right? This is, okay, we're going to set up for the third act. And I was like, nah, it's not ready for the third act. Apparently this movie has half an hour left. Didn't felt like a lot had happened, and it wasn't ready for the third act. They're like, let's do this finish. And that was kind of when I noticed, shit, nothing really is happening. Like, this is a movie of just scenes. And the scenes weren't bad as such, but they were just going along, and you're like, what's been happening? Like, I've been watching a movie for an hour and 20 and nothing's happened. And that was kind of a bit of a shocker, and that was a big problem. That was my biggest problem with the film, because I didn't hate this film, was just, what's happening? Like, we haven't really had a lot of deep storyline. There's been scenes trotting along that set up the next layer and that worked that, but it's very minimal. And I was like, alright, give me another layer, give me another step, give me something to really make me want to see this third act. Now, as I said before, I think I had a decent time, but it's the overthinking that really hurts people, and maybe that's just because they're bigger X-Men fans, or they just notice a lot more shit when they were watching it, and that's the overthinking that's really, I think, making people hate this movie, because I didn't really think about it till after the movie, but there is definitely some things they could have fixed up, and I think the overthinking kills it. Things, for me, that I did notice, they just didn't use Jessica Chastain at all right. She was very, very underutilized. I didn't really know her role going into the movie. I assumed she was going to be the bad guy. She was. That's about it. I won't get into it, whatever, but they just felt underutilized. And then the characters. I just didn't like the arcs they were taking some characters in. Quicksilver was very underutilized. Mystique, I haven't really enjoyed this version of Mystique, because I don't like this good guy Mystique. I'd rather the evil Mystique. Professor X, they kind of went, we're going to make you kind of bad in this movie, and I didn't really like that. He's not a bad guy, but they just kind of make him seem like a dick, and I don't like that. As well as Magneto, they've been repeating that cycle of, hey, am I bad, am I good? Hey, am I bad, am I good? Every single X-Men film from, like, any I can remember with Magneto in this film, it's the same thing. And that's what annoys me about it, not just about this movie, but the entire franchise. You tell that story of, is he bad, is he good, is he bad, is he good, over and over and over again, and then if they're not going to do him, they'll do someone else. Like, they'll be like, oh, we're going to do that, but while we're doing that, is Mystique bad, or while we're doing that, is blah 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 bad, is blah 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 bad, is blah blah blah, and it's just, stick to your roles, learn your roles, make them the bad guys, make them the good guys. When have the movies really ever flourished because of that questionable what they're going to do? I don't think it's ever worked, and just even this character, like, even the way they use Beast, I didn't like, because he was kind of against Professor X. Not really to get into it, but it just, they always do something with the characters that I didn't really like. I think the only character that I liked more, obviously the young cast thing would just, worked into the story a lot better. The Professor X, Magneto, the ones we've seen before in First Class and X-Men and shit like that, they've always been good, but the one I really went, they've actually done better is Cyclops, because Cyclops in X-Men 1 and X-Men 2, kind of just a love interest, and I didn't really think his role was that important in the movie besides dating Jean Grey. Third one, Last Stand, they kill him off. And then they bring him in, Wolverine Origins, get out of here, but in Apocalypse, and he's kind of just useless, and he's kind of just a dick, and I'm like, I don't like this. This movie, they're like, no, I'm actually going to make him do something, and I was like, alright, well, fucking done. At least you give me one character that I'm like, they're a lot better than the last movie, because everything is kind of the same, or even worse, and that's something that I definitely see, and I'm going to stop talking and rambling on, because this movie is definitely starting a big conversation of, is it bad, is it good? I think this movie, to me, feels a lot like Batman vs Superman, where I didn't hate this movie, I enjoyed the movie, and then everyone was just shitting on it, and shitting on it, and shitting on it, and I'm like, chill the fuck out, it's not that bad, you're just overdoing everything, and I think that's the biggest thing as well in this movie. It's the ending to the Fox Marvel era, the Fox X-Men era. So people are like, this is the shittest finish ever. Chill the fuck out, guys. This movie is not the best by any means, but it's not terrible. It's not the worst movie of all time. It, depending on who you are, it might be your worst X-Men movie of all time, but that shows, because this isn't a terrible movie. I think there's movies that are on that level. I think all the X-Men movies that are on the lower level are about the same. They're not awful, but they're just not as good as the rest. And I feel like that's the same with the Wolverine Origins, Apocalypse, and Last Stand. It's kind of all this clump of, we're not as good as the rest, but we're still not bad. I think that's the exact same thing with this movie, and for that reason, I'm going to give Dark Phoenix a C+. Look, really thinking about it afterwards, I didn't expect to give it a high as a rating as I did, even though C+ is not a high rating. It's kind of just a middle rating, because I was like, I didn't hate it, and that was the thing. I could lie to you guys and say I fucking hated this movie, and I was sitting there going, get me out of here, but it wasn't like that at all, and I can't lie and say yes just because I thought of a movie, thinking back of it, like with Us. I liked it a lot more because I thought about it afterwards. This one, I like it less the more I think about it, but I still can't change what I felt while watching the movie. and that it definitely changed your range of I liked a lot more, I like it a lot less. But I don't think you can watch something and go, this is really good, and then go, it's fucking shit. Like, that flip just can't happen. It definitely can impact it, but I enjoyed this film in the end. Like, it was decent. It was a fun time. Will I rush to see it again? Hell no. But I can't lie to you guys and say, fuck it. Like, cause it's not that for me. It's an enjoyable film. It definitely could have been better. That feels like it's just a case of it could have been better and it probably should have been better, but it didn't. And I'm not going to judge it because of how good it should have been, because it wasn't. We've seen that with Last Stand and this movie that is such a great X-Men arc, and they just haven't delivered on it for whatever reason. But that is it, guys. I am done with my Dark Phoenix review. So that went a little longer than my usual reviews, but I am actually going to talk about X-Men again, probably on Friday or Sunday. Within the next week, I'm going to be dropping an X-Men ranking video for all the movies of the Marvel era, not including Deadpool. They don't really feel like X-Men movies to me. I know Deadpool is in the X-Men and they have X-Men in them, but to me they just don't feel like an X-Men movie, so I'm not going to add them to my list. But that video will be up in the next week, as well as another Blu-ray in-depth look at my collection. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe, like, of course, guys. Have a good one.